Okay. I think I'm here. It's been a bit since you guys have seen me. I have been on vacation. I'm back now. Unfortunately for everyone. I can't say that anytime that I'm on vacation, it's very unfortunate for the townsfolk that Beyond Reality Alchemy is always shut down only temporarily. But on that note, we are going to actually continue where we left off. I low-key only remember, like, getting thrown out of a house by, like, a ghost lady and a guy that was fishing that I thought had, like, the greatest voice. You know who else was there? The witch doctor guy. The witch doctor guy, he had a good voice. So, I'm very excited to be back to this. Let us continue. Last autosave? Yeah, sure. Okay, and I did talk to the jeweler all about jewels.
I didn't need the poster.
Okay, I do also know that this is a very loud game. Alright, so I need to collect everything for the Gree-Gree. I need rum, a bone fragment, coffin nails, chalk, black feathers, and gunpowder. According to the guy, the island should provide me everything that I need. What about the focus?
It was a crumbling piece of chalk. Nope.
Okay. I need bird feathers and gunpowder. Oh, I've not been in the courtyard before. Chalk! Yes, chalk from billiards.
There was nothing in the fountain except a rim of moss and dirt that made it look like a stained toilet. Good evening. He looked past me like I was invisible, as though if he ignored me hard enough, there was a chance I'd disappear. I said,
Hey,
good
Knight.
evening?
I'm sorry. I didn't realize you were talking to me.
There's no one else here.
Wishful thinking on my part. Have you taken a wrong turn, sir?
Excuse me, why is
I'm
this
just
guy
having
such
a look
prick?
around.
Well, make it a quick one, and I shall need to know your name.
Murphy McAllen, and who do I have the pleasure of speaking to?
My name is Felix Greer, maitre d', bartender, and acting manager of the Captain's Club. When Mr. Perkins has the night off.
Excuse me? Who is this prick? This is a adventure game called Foolish Mortals. I have 13 hours to find $13 million. I'm playing as our friend here who's an auditor.
What is this place?
This, sir, is the Captain's Club, a private members club for current and retired sea and riverboat captains. We are highly exclusive. Are you a captain?
He asked with a smugness that told me he already knew the answer.
I thought not. Then may I recommend a swift exit?
I
You'll
need the
find a
chalk.
convenient egress to your starboard side. If you like, I can give you a good swift kick in the right direction, sir. And don't feel a need to stop walking until your ankles get soggy.
Want to pop in before work. Hope you have an awesome stream. Have fun. Thanks for stopping by. Last time I played this game was a lot of fun. The characters are definitely unique.
I'm looking for the lost treasure of Belmore Manor.
Oh, goody! Another young adventurer seeking fame,
Lizard.
fortune, or some combination
Yep,
of the
lizard.
two. Just the local color Dead Nettle has been lacking. 'Cause the local color Dead Nettle has been lacking. 'Cause the local color Dead Nettle has been lacking. 'Cause the local color Dead Nettle has been lacking. 'Cause the local color Dead Nettle has been lacking. 'Cause the local color Dead Nettle has been lacking. 'Cause the local color Dead Nettle has been lacking. 'Cause the local color Dead Nettle has been lacking. 'Cause the local color Dead Nettle has been lacking. 'Cause the local color Dead Nettle has been lacking. 'Cause the local color Dead Nettle has been lacking. 'Cause the local color Dead Nettle has been lacking. 'Cause the local color Dead Nettle has been lacking. 'Cause the local color Dead Nettle has been lacking. 'Cause the local color Dead Nettle has been lacking. 'Cause the local color
What do you know about the lost treasure?
Do you think you're living in a storybook? Weathered maps, talking parrots, X marks the spot? Grow up, you silly boy. Captaincy is a noble skill that doesn't need to be trivialized with childish tales of lost treasure.
You must have some thoughts on the disappearance.
On moonlit nights, when the waves crash against the rocks, the captains of this club trade yarns about this very mystery. Did you know Abigail Belmore's fiancé was a sailor who worked on the ships? Some of the old boys here even worked with him. They say he loved her, as true as a captain loves the sea. But she was a temptress, a siren. She scuttled that sailor's heart, consumed by a voodoo premonition that she had to fulfill. More beautiful than a mermaid, and twice as fishy.
What did she do?
After months of engagement, she broke it off and chose to marry an officer of the company instead, on their very wedding day.
Why did she do that?
The rumors I've heard are that they discovered something in the Caribbean. Something wicked. Something that consumed them and drove them to heinous acts. The Belmore brothers swore their crew to secrecy, and the men were loyal to their word. But the rot in the rope was that sister, Abigail. People say that whatever they discovered took hold of her. With the sailor's broken heart and the officer's resources, she was about to unleash something terrible. Until the disappearance halted her evil plans.
Do you think that's true?
Of course not. It's all nonsense. But the captains do love to outperform each other with such tales on a dull evening.
I think that story holds more true than the guy would like to think.
What makes you think I'm not a captain?
For one thing, you lack the grizzle, the crustiness, the essential R of a captain.
How do I get those?
Years of exposure to saltwater and a sullen, uncooperative crew, I should think. Do you even have a boat?
Actually, I did have one earlier this evening, but an alligator fell on it. Admittedly, it was only 3 inches long.
It isn't the size that matters, sir. It's the motion of the ocean. Tell me, have you ever captained a three-rigger through a tropical typhoon? Have you ever run the rapids of the Mississippi without hitting a single reef? Wind in your sails? Fire in your furnace? Waves beneath your keel?
Have you?
Well, it's a little complicated.
In what way?
I get seasick.
This man is a hypocrite. Have you ever done this?
Is there any way to prove I'm a captain?
You might show me your captain's license. As I'm sure you know, the state of Louisiana requires all captains of both river and sea to carry one. But don't try to foist off a fake on me. Last week, we had someone present a license with a photograph distinctly unlike their contemporary appearance. The photograph was clearly of someone a good deal older than them, with more facial hair, and most importantly, one less eye.
You know, I quite like being out at sea.
Oh, really, sir?
Bobbing along the ocean waves, up and down, like one of those roller coasters at Luna Land. Up and down and up and down.
If sir would please be quiet. Else I expect there'll be a few waves of something coming out of my mouth any moment.
Is the club busy tonight?
Well, we haven't opened yet, but if it's
You
like
should have
last
kept
week,
saying
it'll
up
be
and
quite
down
the
until
lively
he,
soiree. I
grew
could
up,
barely
so you can
keep
stick
up.
by
The
him.
members here like to have a good time?
That's right, sir. Both of them. This town sure isn't what it used to be.
What's happened to Dead Nettle?
Do you think you've wandered into the Tourist Information Center? I can assure you, you'll never meet a tourism official who dresses with this much panache. Stuart LePew, head of the Devil's Rock Historical Society, looks like a thrift store had a crisis of conscience and threw up on him.
I was just hoping to talk to someone so obviously knowledgeable about the area.
Well, yes, that is true. I am plagued with an encyclopedic knowledge of the
this man.
locality. My concierge duties require it. I have a spiel.
Felix pushed out his chest like this was his moment in the limelight, his eyelids half closing as he performed before imagined crowds.
Welcome, hardy traveler, to our quaint port town of Dead Nettle. Once this town you see around you was a hub of commerce, a beacon for ships bravely navigating between America, Europe, and the Caribbean. With the unfortunate dissolution of the Belmore Trading Company, our town has settled into a quieter life, perfect for the sailor ready to hang up their cap. We hope that you enjoy your time in our cozy town, and perhaps explore some of the local sites here in Dead Nettle. Well,
Excuse me?
I was expecting applause.
I'd best be casting off.
Don't feel the need to rush back, sir.
You're not gonna let me.
You can't go up there. It's for members only.
I need to chill.
Members only.
Stingy.
I thought better of swimming out to the wreck. The stories about Belmore Manor are true. I saw the Ghost Bride inside the house.
Blast it, Murphy. Don't say I didn't warn you. This island has had its fair share of the macabre. The best way to deal with it is to leave well enough alone. Why are you searching for that treasure anyway?
Well, it's my job. The state's claim on that money runs out at 8 a.m., and I'm supposed to find it.
You seem pretty passionate about something that's just for work. What are the odds you draw an assignment like that?
Well, I might have made my own luck there. They wouldn't normally authorize an investigation so close to the statute of limitations running out, especially on a 30-year-old cold case. But thrust a stack of forms in front of the boss 5 minutes before clocking off on a Friday afternoon, and he doesn't care what he's signing.
Well, let's just hope he wasn't signing your death warrant.
Most of my investigations don't amount to more than counting paper clips in a municipal building or going cross-eyed over receipt rolls in a courthouse. When I found that old case folder
Hey, how's
tucked
it
behind the
going?
filing cabinet, its only lead, a water-stained magazine, talking about a real-life haunted house, how could I pass it up?
Sorry, I've been away for a bit. I've been on vacation.
I spoke with Dr. Moray. He thinks we can make contact with the
I'm
ghosts.
doing pretty good.
Moray is
I hope
a
you are.
charlatan and a fool. Only got into hoodoo and voodoo a few years ago. Before that, he was an actor over at the Calliope Theater, and not a very good one. He's the only person I know who directed and starred in a one-person production of The Pirates of Penzance. And that's because all the rest of the cast dropped out rather than work with him. He's always been searching for respect and recognition. Who would have known he found it by living in the swamp and reeking of incense?
Don't you believe in voodoo?
I certainly do. I just don't think Moray's got any more control of it than the rooster has control of the sunrise. His understanding of voodoo amounts to whatever he's gleaned from one of those horror pictures Ventura Studios puts out at the movie palace. My mama used to know all about it. God rest her soul. Voodoo isn't some made-up Hollywood magic, Mac. Voodoo's a real religion. It's about community, about belonging, and about searching for something more than flesh and blood. It's not the snake oil he peddles.
I don't know, his snake oil seemed pretty
What do
real
you
to me.
think happened at Belmore Manor?
Now there's a tale I don't like to tell.
Can I persuade you to tell it anyway?
I have a feeling I ain't gonna get any rest until I do. You know about Miss Belmont, the bride, engaged to the sailor? Nah, the way I hear it, Mr. Rackham was over the moon with her. Such an upstanding fella. I won't have a bad word said against him. Now he realized that the sailor was going through terrible lengths to ensnare
So
his
he thinks
bride.
the opposite.
And Mr. Rackham tried to save her.
Oh, God.
I heard that the sailor caught on to this and tricked Rackham into giving the lady a gift. That's what made everything go topsy-turvy.
What was the gift?
There are places in the Caribbean that trade things more elusive than gold. Ungodly things.
Do you think the disappearance was caused by voodoo?
And that's what my mama used to say. If you're not careful, that stuff can go to your head.
No luck fishing?
Not a bite, Mac. The Bengoza fish just ain't snapping for me today. Shame, too, because I'm planning on firing up my grill later. And the tastiest catch in these waters.
Do I need charcoal?
How do you catch a Pencosa fish?
With hours of patience and decades of practice. You ever wrestled a rod before?
Just the once. I went fishing on Lake Erie, but the only thing I caught was a cold. What do you do with the fish you catch?
A couple I save for myself, and the rest I sell to the Captain's Club. And they fancy them up with lemon lobsters, slawfish, something or other. But everyone knows the best way to cook them is to grill them.
So, I've heard two different stories recently. The one saying that the sailor was the good guy and Mr. Rackham was the bad guy, and now we're hearing that Mr. Rackham is a good
Why won't you
guy.
hear a word against Mr. Rackham?
He gave me my first work on this island. right here on these docks. And I'm still here to this day. He may have worn a scar, but you don't judge a banana by its peel with people like him, Mac. When I looked into his eyes, all I saw was ambition.
What work did you do?
Loading and unloading the ships that came in. Of course, they just don't do that anymore. Dead Nettle's a forgotten town. Maybe that's for the best.
Catch you later, Ned.
See you around, Mac.
Hey, Ned, do you mind if I borrow your knife?
If you need it, Mac, just bring it back to me later tonight, would you? If I'm lucky with my catch, I'll be firing up the grill. You're invited to join me, of course.
Okay, so why do I have a knife? Chalk, black feathers, gunpowder, rum, bone fragment, coffin nails.
It was a manuscript that looked
I have no idea where to find anything. I know the chalk is going
The
to be in
fishing net
billiards.
was worn and useless. Using it would have been like trying to catch soup with a sieve.
The telegram's open now.
Murphy McCallan, so you're still here. What have you been up to? Anything newsworthy?
That's none of your business. Don't think I've forgotten your trick with the telegram.
Hey, it's nothing personal. Your business is my business, and my business is news. I'm Evelyn Stoker, editor of the Juniper Parish Gazette. No misdeed left unshared, no drama left unmonetized. Come on, work with me here, McCallan. I need something juicy. Committed any crimes? Uncovered any affairs? Any deep, personal secrets to reveal?
The honest-to-God truth? No.
I need a good story. I can't let something minor like the truth stand in the way of that.
I picked up the scissors. With her stunt at the bayou, I figured she owed me one. I picked up the twine. Maybe she owed me two.
Don't even think about it. The spring on that printing press looks like it's going to blow at any moment.
I didn't want to get
Why?
ink all over me trying to carry the canister around. There was no way I was going to get past the newspaper editor to get it. Besides, I didn't know how to operate it.
Hey, you can't come back here.
Sorry.
So I need to find a way to let her get out of here without shutting the door on me, so I can look at the filing cabinets to get records.
Yes?
Hi. What are you working on?
One of the most romantic articles this newspaper's ever seen. Francois Fogg, Dead Nettle's local pharmacist, is reuniting with his long-lost love after 14 years apart, thanks to this newspaper's personal ads column.
What a lovely story.
That's right. She mailed in a letter she wanted printed. Her former sweetheart saw it, and now they're on track to see each other again. Eventually.
Eventually?
Well, that's a bit of an administrative issue. In the letter we received, she told him to meet her in her Texas hometown of Magnolia. Due to a tiny typesetting error, he's now on a 6-week voyage to Mongolia. But doesn't it warm your heart how far people will go for love?
Don't you have more interesting stories to write about?
The crackpots this island calls a population wouldn't know something interesting if they paid for it. Which they hardly do. Believe me, I've tried to get juicier stories. Scouring the island, doorstop
Wait,
interviews,
Texas town
hiding
of
under windows.
Mongolia?
You
Is that
eavesdrop
what the
on
guy
people
read?
through their windows?
It's called investigative reporting.
Well, it's like, oh, meet me in the Texas town of Magnolia, accidentally spelled as Mongolia. Oh, God. I don't think there is a Mongolia near Texas. The guy literally just jumped the gun. I feel bad for this poor fellow. And he's fictional.
I'm doing some research on the treasure of Belmore Manor.
Have you found it?
Well, no, not yet. I've just started looking.
Then don't waste my time. Come back when you've got the goods.
You might not believe this, but I saw a ghost inside Belmore Manor.
You know what? You're right, McCallan. I don't believe it. Really? You've been on this island how long? And you're already starting to sound as loopy as a local.
Have you ever written an article on the disappearance at Belmore Manor?
What a waste of column inches. Leave it. That's my advice. There's no story in it.
No story.
Not one that anyone would believe. And I've got advertisers breathing down my neck.
What do you think went on?
Practically everyone on this island thinks there was some kind of sorcery involved. No one is looking at the reality. If I write up my research, no one on the island will believe me. If I write their wackadoodle theories, I'll be laughed out of the industry.
So she's a realist. Got it.
You can tell me what you've uncovered about Belmore Manor. Trust me, at this point, few things would surprise me.
I heard the Belmore Trading Company was losing revenue. Its profits eaten up by who knows what ventures those brothers had going on. I've seen the records. The company was privately owned, sure, but when you've got pressure building and the sharks are circling, you've got to shore up your defenses. I think that's why the Belmores persuaded Abigail to marry John Rackham.
Marry someone she didn't love?
But he didn't love her either. He was just after the company, so he hires the sailor to seduce her, convince her there's more to life than Devil's Rock. And as soon as she marries Rackham, they split, never to see each other again. He inherits the lot, and she disappears with her lover boy sailor to who knows where.
That's a good theory.
Why do you think all the guests disappeared?
They bumped them off to cover their tracks. Either one of them could have been sunning it up in Sarasota ever since. But imagine me writing that into a piece of serious journalism.
Would you take my photograph?
Do you know how much the chemicals cost to develop those photographs? I'm on a limited budget here, McAllen. Unless you've done something notable, you're not getting into print.
So I guess I need to be able to get that camera for a future thing, which is why that's an option.
Did you know Comptroller Grimes?
How could I forget him? The guy was a walking, talking
Take a
migraine
picture, make a
generator.
fake license.
Surely you shouldn't speak of the dead like that.
Okay.
Why not? I spoke plenty worse about him when he was alive. Anyway, I'm sure everything happens for a reason. And hopefully that reason is to increase my circulation numbers. Everything's connected, you know? Have you ever heard of the butterfly effect? I suspect it works for moths, too, because I can never get the damn things out of here. Some people say that if a man breaks wind in Alabama, it can cause a hurricane in Fiji.
I think I shared a train car with that guy on my way here.
You have an idea? So you can boost your channel and try doing both long form live and shorts live? Sure. I actually don't know anything about advertising, so I just kind of jumped into this. I'm like, oh yeah, having a model would be fun. But yeah, if you have any advice, feel free to share it. I'll more than definitely look into it.
What's in those filing cabinets?
Past issues of the paper, going all the way back to 1858.
I also don't have a Twitter.
Of course, things were a lot more
I
interesting when
do,
Dead Nettle was
but-
thriving. People, ships, and cargo coming and going. Lots to report on back then. More than the dregs I have to dress up now.
Oh my god, why are there so many fucking questions for this wood lady?
Why did the ship stop coming to Dead Nettle?
The Belmore Trading Company was the heartbeat of this island. After the disappearance, there was no one left to run the company, and it all got sold off. When that folded, so did pretty much everything else.
Do you have any back issues featuring the Belmore Manor wedding?
We don't, I'm afraid. Most of the paper's directors were at the wedding, and disappeared along with everyone else. The newspaper had to close up shop for months while it was restaffed. This was back when the Gazette wasn't run by just one person.
Okay.
I think I better be going.
Keep your eyes peeled for a story,
Scissors.
McAllen. There are secrets on the island, and it's my job to run advertisements next to them.
Huh. I have twine?
The fishing net was worn and useless. Using it would have been like trying to catch soup with a sieve. The net was well past repair.
Why do I have a taxidermy fish?
The net was so worn that even if I had cut it down, I'd have no use for it.
Ah! There we go. That is why I need a photograph. Okay. Does he want a taxidermied fish, maybe?
Nope. Nope.
Huh, okay. We have the other places on the island. I got a causeway. Like, the child is gone. Also a bottle here now.
As I picked up the bottle, I anticipated what could be inside.
There's nothing.
A brine-stained treasure map, perhaps, or a scribbled plea from a castaway desperately awaiting rescue. Looking inside, I found it was empty. The only writing on it was the embossed glass letters of the Orangello Soda Company.
Orangello Soda Company.
I peered into the tide pools, but all I could see was pebbles, sand, and seaweed. I peered into the tide pools, but all I could see was pebbles, sand, and seaweed.
As of right now, there's nothing else, but I have this bottle for a reason. And go back up here. We're just gonna do like a swirly pattern, I think.
I considered climbing the water tower, but I couldn't imagine what I'd find at the top other than stagnant, moldy water. And there was plenty of that in the bayou already. There was nothing else of interest in the shack.
Okay, I don't think as of right now I can do anything there. Okay, so I'm gonna do a swirly pattern and go back to this other place. It's where the
From the
horseshoe
patina
fell
of
off.
rust, it was clear the patio set hadn't been used in decades. The rope was too thick for the scissors to get purchase. I would have been hacking away for hours like a nearsighted lumberjack.
To the knife? Okay. Okay. Hello, barn.
I reached up to the cow skull and dislocated its grisly jaw. I placed the jawbone into the gree-gree.
Rum, cop nail shell. Okay.
I wasn't going to touch the molasses with my bare hands. With the items I was borrowing across the island, some may have said I had sticky fingers, but this would have made it a little bit too literal. The molasses was far too thick and gooey to get into the bottle.
Okay.
The doors were firmly locked from the inside.
Okay. That's just a weird loop. Okay, so I can't unlock the carriage doors. Have to make your hand. Bird.
The stark trunk of the tree didn't offer any possibility of climbing it.
Do I need to scare the bird?
Stark trunk... The skeleton hung high up in the tree, swaying with each slight breeze. Even from down on the ground, I felt disturbingly close to it.
think I need to scare that bird somehow.
I went to open the door into Belmore Manor, but the key was gone. I was sure I'd left it in the lock.
Okay, so I can't go
I
back
considered
in there.
wading into the pond, water up to my waist, squelching my way through the reeds and mud, past frogs, bugs, and water snakes. Then I realized I had absolutely no reason to do that.
Yeah, and I see absolutely no reason why I can't take a rock and go
That
right
wasn't
through the
going to
window.
work. That wasn't going to work.
But, you know. Alright, we're gonna come down here. Gunpowder. I could totally fit through that window.
Here, kitty, kitty. Psst, 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 psst. It was no use. The cat was clearly more entranced by shiny things than the stranger outside the gate.
Does Kitty want to
The
fish?
fish had been dead for years, was primarily comprised of stuffing,
Damn.
and smelled faintly of formaldehyde. The cat wasn't going to be interested in it in the slightest. The cat seemed too entranced by the light to notice me dangling a ball of twine out for it. That didn't work. The cat wasn't going to be interested in
So
that.
I can't just poke the cat for its attention?
I couldn't do that.
Couldn't or wouldn't?
I couldn't do that.
Okay, so I need something to get the cat's attention. Is there anything else?
The lighthouse light was off.
Okay. Coffin nails would come from here. Let me go to the church first. I don't want to, like, hurt anyone here. Of course.
The
it's
church door was locked. The inside of the church was silent and still. I couldn't see any way to open the crypt door. Not a doorknob, not a keyhole. Whoever sealed this up intended to seal it up for good. I scanned the headstones for anything of note, but didn't know what I was searching for.
I wonder if this man will give me some nails.
The coffin lid had been nailed down securely. I wasn't going to be able to open it. The tin was full of nothing but holes. Hello?
Yeah! God, Sergeant, don't sneak up on people like that. You frighten the dying daylights out of me.
He looked at me like he'd seen a ghost. Sorry, you seem a little jumpy.
I thought you were that pesky little girl again.
A little girl? That doesn't seem like a reason to be scared.
She's a terror. One of these days, she's gonna give me a heart attack. Last week, she showed up with a doctor's note she'd forged, saying a man I'd buried that day was just a very deep sleeper. 7 hours I was out here digging him back up, at my age.
And was he sleeping?
Dead as a dodo. Just like that little girl will be if I get my hands on her. Yeah, who are you, anyway?
My name's Murphy McCallan. I've just arrived on the island.
Well, welcome, Mr. Murphy. I'm Edgar Kettle. Gravedigger, undertaker, coffin maker, and anything else that needs doing to keep this cemetery running.
I'm looking for the treasure of Belmore Manor.
Oh, a treasure hunter. Well, let me tell you something, young man. Don't even think about digging up my graveyard.
I don't
There's
want
no
your graveyard.
treasure buried here, and I'm already busy enough filling in the holes that are supposed to be here.
Do you know anything about the disappearance at Belmore
I
Manor?
promise this old man I don't want his
think
graveyard.
it's important to let the dead rest in peace.
But what if they're not in peace?
Well, you got me there. Listen, I think there's more to that story than meets the eye. You know the three brothers went missing, right? Well, if you ask me, I think Abigail Belmore was behind it. She was engaged to a sailor, but nobody like her would go for a commoner.
She might have loved him.
She could have loved somebody with a big bank account, too. I think she must have been using him, pretending to love him so he'd do her dirty work for her, bumping off her brothers. And afterwards, she drops him and goes to marry the officer of the company. Fiendish.
Do you have any proof?
Just a feeling, that's all. When you work with cadavers, you kinda get a sixth sense about things.
What do you
Interesting.
think was behind the disappearance?
Well, the sailor must have found out he was being manipulated, right? Done something to get his revenge.
What do you think he did?
Nobody knows. He could have been working his way through those bodies like a madman. All we know is that everyone in that house disappeared. Tell you the truth, quite relieved they did.
Why's that?
Because if they hadn't disappeared, it would have been this old fool who had to bury him. Saved me a lot of work.
That man just does not want to work. He's too old for this.
Did you make this coffin?
I sure did. But this is no more than a pauper's coffin by anyone's standards. The finest a parish pension can buy. Lock them in lumber, leave them to slumber, that's what I say. This'll end up 5 feet under by the end of the night.
I thought it was supposed to be 6 feet.
You're not the one doing the digging. 5 feet means I get a tea break.
Have you got any spare coffin nails?
No, I don't have any to spare. I've got a backlog of bodies begging for burial. But does the parish increase my funding? Nope. The roof's leaking, my table's broken. I've used floorboards to build some of the coffins. Take my advice. Don't go into this line of work. Undertaking is a dying business.
How do I get nails from him? He doesn't want to share, and I'm not mean enough to try to steal from
Do you
this
think
man.
I could fit inside the coffin?
Probably not. The gentleman inside might make it a bit of a squeeze.
You mean there's a dead guy inside there?
There better be. I can't afford to be burying empty coffins.
Was the little girl named Mallory Wisp by any chance?
That's her. The peril in a pinafore. She got though. I walked past the school the other day,
Whoops.
and they'd made up a jump rope chant about me.
Oh, what was the chant the school children made up about you?
Edgar, Edgar, crazy feller, just be careful he don't get you. How many bodies did he strive to bury while they're still alive?
1, 2, 3, 4.
I wasn't looking for audience participation.
Sorry, I got carried away. Just like you with the burying. Have you ever accidentally buried someone who was still alive?
Has someone been making accusations again?
No, just making conversation.
Well, not that I know of. When you think about it, how would I know?
Shouts for help, desperate shaking of the coffin.
Look, I haven't sealed anyone up who was chatting with me, let's put it that way. I usually check for signs of life, but everyone takes shortcuts sometimes, don't they? I deserve some rest in peace, too.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Hopefully not the guy in the coffin.
Not funny.
That was pretty funny.
I'd best be running along.
Don't drop dead. I don't want anything else on my to-do list.
I didn't need to warm my hands on the stove. It was already a humid night, and the fire was more useful at keeping bugs away from the shack than keeping anyone toasty.
So I got a bellows.
Hurry up with the barrels, Morris. We gotta get these unloaded before anyone sees us.
Are you sure this is a good idea, Musket? I don't think we should be using a church as our hiding place.
You're not being paid to think, Morris. You carry those barrels in here and let me worry about the theological implications. This place has been abandoned for decades. There's nobody around.
Nobody living, maybe. What if there's ghosts, boss?
Darn it, Morris. If brains was dynamite, you wouldn't have enough to blow your nose. Now get unloading. Keep an eye out for anyone snooping around.
What if someone catches us?
If anyone asks, we're the new clergy. We tell them these barrels are full of communion wine.
I thought we was rum runners, not wine runners, boss.
Communion
That's
rum,
a new
then.
insult that I like.
Ah, gotcha.
Remember, St. Juniper's Church is a place to get closer to God. And if anyone questions our alibi, we make sure that happens.
The pair of rum runners looked like the human personifications of the dish and the spoon from Hey Diddle Diddle. The gangly spoon bossing around the rotund dish as it carried barrels effortlessly from the jalopy and into the church. As it turned out, nursery rhyme characters become a lot more intimidating once they have revolvers.
Hello, Void. How's it going? Can I steal some of your rum?
I couldn't do that. That didn't work. I didn't need to cut them.
I need your rum.
The barrels were far too heavy for me to lift, though that gorilla of a rum runner had been picking them up like they were cotton balls.
Yeah, this is a game. It's called Foolish Mortals.
The noise of smashing barrels definitely would have alerted the rum runners. I would need to be less heavy-handed. I needed to think of something else.
Less heavy-handed. I just need to stab it. I have nothing else that I
I
can...
didn't need to blow on
Wait.
that. Wandering happily into the hideout of a pair of mobsters wasn't going to be a smart move.
I don't recommend asking me for advice. I'm a lot of things, but I'm not good with advice.
Cluck, cluck. Cluck, 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 cluck. I tried to persuade the chicken to come outside, but clearly I was out of cluck. The wood was old and rotting. It wasn't going to be of any use. And who knew what critters might have made their homes inside the pile? Despite its obvious age, the water wheel was still turning. I couldn't get near it, and that was probably a good thing if I didn't want to get dragged under by the current. The inside of the lumber mill smelled like sawdust and grease. Judging from the overgrown weeds, it clearly hadn't been used in a long time, and yet the lights
That's
remained
how I
on.
get into the barrel.
I picked up the auger from the tool shelf.
Okay.
I looked over the machine, but I couldn't find a way to turn it on, if it even still worked. I didn't want to touch it. I hadn't seen something with that many scary-looking teeth since Old Lady Malloy's German Shepherd got loose on my 10th birthday.
If you need serious family advice, you should probably either talk with people who know you and your family, like friends, or a counselor. I'm not good with dealing with family anything. There is no amount of advice that I could give you that I would even call good advice.
The beam looked to be driven by the water wheel outside. From the multitude of wires fanning out from the top, it was presumably hooked up to a generator. The saw blades were rusted, dull, and would surely have precipitated the need for a tetanus shot. The hatches were locked. From their shape, I deduced they were for storing lumber, and I wasn't in need of any 2x4s.
Right, but like I said before you continue with the story, you should probably ask like actual like friends and people that know your situation. I'm not the person to come to.
I tried the door, but it was locked. The electrical safety of the panel looked questionable. I wasn't going to touch it. Using the auger, I drilled a small hole in the barrel, and out poured rum. I filled the bottle with rum pouring from the barrel. Relief washed over me at the realization that I'd done it without getting caught by the two rum runners.
Hey, Musket! There's someone out here!
So I thought.
Hey, fella, what do you think you're doing snooping around here? This is our church, you know, and it's closed.
I'm just here to do some praying. Mainly praying that I get out of this situation without a puncture wound.
He's being a wise guy, Musket.
Time to fill him full of lead.
But boss, it's bad luck to bump someone off in a churchyard.
Now, where'd you hear a nonsensical thing like that?
I thought churches was hallowed ground, where sin and immorality would face supernatural punishment in this world or the next.
Where do you get this stuff from? I told you, I do the thinking in this partnership.
Interesting.
I poured the rum into the gree-gree.
So the gunpowder's with the cat, the feathers at the house. I need to find a way to scare the bird. Raffle nails are with that guy.
It was a manuscript that looked
What if I told you?
Anything to report?
I'm keeping my eyes open.
Yes?
Hi. I've got a story for you. A big one. There are rum runners at the old church.
Keep your voice down, Motormouth. Do you want us to end up in the obituaries?
I thought you wanted a real scoop for the Gazette.
I do, just not one that gets me on the wrong side of the mob in the process. Pigeon elected mayor, cow does the high jump. Those are the types of stories that get eyes on the front pages.
But I thought journalists had a duty towards truth, justice, and society.
Where'd you get that poppycock idea? My duty is towards the circulation numbers. And while I'd love a shocker of a story, I'd rather not become the story, if you catch my drift.
I think I better be going.
I've got my eye on you, McAllen.
Without a photograph of me, there was no way he was going to accept it as proof of my being a captain.
Okay.
It was a single penny, the last money I had left to my name. It was the taxidermied fish I'd taken from the riverboat, with a ripped seam opening up to the stuffing inside. The fish was already ripped open along the seam.
Is there anything in the
The
fish?
fish was already ripped open along the seam. It was a ball of rough twine. The taxidermied fish was far beyond my haberdashery skills to fix it.
Horseshoe. Poker.
It was the small round magnet I'd been given by the jeweler, meant to attach a brooch without piercing clothing. It was the ornate brooch I'd had cleaned at the jeweler's, now glimmering in the light. I didn't need to wear the brooch, and obviously its red stone wouldn't suit my jade complexion.
Interesting.
Welcome back.
Has anything changed with you?
Good evening, Mr. Crumb.
How can I help you?
How's business tonight?
You're not a millionaire with an enraged fiance.
I'm not. No.
Then business tonight is about as like the only book to can you believe
You sell
eyes.
I hear. I think I'll just look around for now.
I mean,
So you gave me that. Bellows. What can I do with bellows? Can I blow away the moths? No.
The puppet show hadn't started
There's
yet.
a lot of just shenanigans.
I had more important things to do than fish. To make use of that, I needed something to weigh. I decided to leave Nick.
Though Ned is not useful as of this moment. I have to find something spicy to give her.
Of all of the papers pinned to the board, one article stood out to me. It showed the beaming face of a rotund fisherman on the docks with a headline to...
I have no idea. Like, in theory, I need to get the gunpowder from the cat. I need to get black feathers from the bird at the manor, but I need to scare the bird. I need chalk from the billiard place, and then the nails from the, guy.
you've returned. Have you found all the ingredients and placed them in the green?
Not yet. I'm working on it. I'm going to go and find the voodoo ingredients.
Hurry back.
So I think maybe what I need to end up doing is find a way to scare off the bird or get it to fly away. Like, I can't go into the manor. It's like molasses.
I didn't need to blow on that. I didn't need to blow on that.
That's one way to get the bird away.
I didn't need to blow on that. I couldn't do that. Nope.
I can't even like poke the skeleton. Okay.
The stark trunk of the tree didn't offer any possibility of climbing it.
What if I have to
I
get a knife?
didn't need to.
Nope. I need to find a way to...
The wheel was too heavy to move. I wasn't going with the items I was borrowing across the island.
I like
That didn't work.
seal up that. Nope. The molasses doesn't go in the bottle. Got the bone fragment from that. The horseshoe there.
Cluck, cluck. Buck, buck, buck. Cluck. I tried to persuade the chicken to come outside, but clearly I was out of cluck. That didn't work.
The chicken does not want the fish. Can I poke the chicken?
Vandalizing the chicken coop wasn't quite my style. I couldn't do that.
What if I ask the guy if he uses the sawmill?
Hello, Edgar.
Yeah.
Why are you jumping again?
Do you know there were a couple of gentlemen up by the church?
Rum runners they are. Dealing with them is not in my job description. As long as they don't mix up the stiffs I'm burying with the stiff drinks they're smuggling, I'm keeping my nose out. Curiosity killed the cat, you know. And I really miss Mittens.
You want your cat back? That's by the lighthouse?
I best be running along.
Goodbye.
The stove was already burning brightly.
Yeah, if this place is like right by the fort, then...
The church had a good view of the fort from this part of the island. I couldn't see any way to open the crypt door. Not a doorknob, not a keyhole. Whoever sealed this up intended to seal it up for good. That wasn't going to work.
You never know if it's like
I couldn't do that.
activated.
The
Can't just
crypt
pry it
door was
open?
solid granite with ironwork edging that looked just as functional as it was decorative. I wasn't getting through it by force.
I'm not allowed to dig up graves here either.
I scanned the headstone.
So I don't know what... I mean, I'm obviously looking for a code for that crypt there, but I'm not gonna find it here. I poke your tire.
The jalopy door was locked. How ironic that the rum runners would take care not to be the target of criminality.
I poke your tire.
If the rum runners caught me breaking into their getaway car, I'd end up bundled up inside one of their barrels. Besides, from what I could see through the window, there was nothing worth taking. I could see the shadows of the rum runners moving around inside the church.
So do you want your cat back?
Now that I had a fish, the dock seemed like a good place to do something with it. There wasn't anything to do with the lantern. It was no use. The cat was clearly...
Now that I had a fish, I need to do something at the docks. Do I need to, like, lay it? Will I get Ned to say something to me?
I hung the fish on the scales.
You caught a pincosa. They're the most delicious fish around here, especially grilled. But you'll never beat Squib's record.
Squib?
Jebediah Squib. A Cajun catcher, he calls himself. Last week at the Dead of the Docks, Squib caught the heaviest pincosa on record. Got his photograph on the front page of the newspaper and everything. Now how am I going to rest while he brags and boasts about it every single night?
With its innards made of cotton and material scraps, the fish's weight was distinctly unimpressive. What do you think of my fish?
That's a whopper. Hang it on the scale and let's see what it weighs. Doubt it'll beat Squib's record, though.
I decided to leave Ned to his fishing.
So I need a real fish. Can I put this
That
in the
didn't
fish? Put like a penny in the fish?
I needed to think of something else. The fishing net was worn and useless. Using it would have been like trying to catch soup with a sieve.
Hotspots. Okay.
The billboard poster was peeling away to reveal layers of advertisements underneath, like some sort of consumeristic onion. I wasn't going to climb the mast. I had neither the proficiency with electrical equipment nor the desire to get electrocuted. The clothesline was decidedly out of reach, even for a person who wanted to steal someone's freshly laundered undergarments. I wasn't one of those people. The sign read, "The Fantastic Fantocchio Brothers will be performing tonight. All ages welcome. Tips welcome even more." The puppet show hadn't started yet. I had heard of the medical benefits of open-air night swimming. To my mind, the only medical benefit was diagnosing insanity in the people willing to do it.
Nope, not clicking it. I'm just gonna double check everything before I like think about a hint, because I probably have the items to see what to do. I can't do anything there, nothing's left inside. That's the dockmaster, door is stuck.
With the gator disposed of, I turned my attention to the sack hanging from the crane. There was no apparent way to open it, but by the feel of it, it seemed to be filled with some kind of grain.
That's good to know. That's for the chicken. Okay, okay. Good to know that I was able to click on.
I cut into the sack with the knife, revealing it to be full of corn.
Bottle of
That
corn.
didn't work. I
Take
took the
corn?
corn from the sack. Cluck, cluck. I tried to persuade
The chicken want the corn. Want some bayou corn?
I scattered the corn on the path. Mere seconds later, it attracted the attention of the curious chicken. was glad nobody had seen that. I may have known how to handle a chicken drumstick, but wrestling the living version was altogether different. I'd seen cowboys lassoing cattle at the summer rodeo before, but trying to do the same with Now that the chicken was enjoying the fresh air, there was nothing of interest in the chicken coop.
Okay, let's see. Hotspot. Those. Can't catch the chicken. I need a net.
That wasn't going to work.
I mean,
I may have needed feathers, but I didn't want to hurt the chicken to get them. Cutting a feather off the chicken would have required me to catch it first. If the chicken didn't want me to touch it, perhaps a blast of air could do the trick.
okay.
That didn't work. The twine would be more useful to me intact.
Yeah, but if you could put
I
the
couldn't do that.
twine on that.
That didn't work.
I think, yeah, it does say.
It was a pair of feathers, both black.
Need ink. Ink. Yes, yes.
Anything to report?
I'm keeping my eyes open. Delicately, I dipped the feathers into the canister of ink. When they emerged, they were dyed jet black. I placed the feathers into the gree-gree. Evelyn seemed busy and
So I need a story for Evelyn to take my photo. I need a photo to get in there. And I can more than likely get the photo from... I think it's probably the graveyard.
I didn't need to blow on that. I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that. That wasn't going to work.
What if I, like...
Even with the poker, I wouldn't have been able to reach the barrel. I jiggled the gate, but it wasn't going to open. If pirates and the colonial powers of Western Europe weren't able to get into the fort uninvited, I wasn't about to either. I couldn't get to the staircase while the gate was locked. The coat of arms depicted 4 lions surrounding a central flower, topped by a medieval tower. It was no use. That cat was... There wasn't anything to do with the lantern. I needed to think of something else.
I need the cat for the guy who wants his cat back. The electricity?
beam looked to be driven by the water wheel outside. From the multitude of wires fanning out from the top, it was presumably hooked up to a generator. If I touched the grease with my bare hands, I'd be spending hours trying to wash it off. That wasn't going to work. I couldn't do that.
Oh, what do I need grease for?
I tried the door, but it was locked.
Okay, I am going to
From the outside, I couldn't spot an... From the ground, I didn't have a clear view through the balcony doors, but that didn't stop me from knowing the dark magic that went...
I don't think I need to grease a tree. I already can't go up. What would you need grease for?
I scanned the headstones for anything of note, but didn't know what...
What did I just take?
It was a screw jack, the type I'd normally see being used to hold up a motor car when changing its tire. A mischievous idea began to form in my mind. Hey, I think the guy inside here might still be alive.
And why would you think something like that?
The coffin was just shaking around. Maybe you should open it up.
Well, I didn't see it move.
The gravedigger had me in a conundrum. I could hardly start shaking it right in front of his eyes.
And unless the body inside starts jiggling around, I'm not opening up that coffin.
The coffin lid had been nailed down securely. I wasn't going to be able to open it. I couldn't do that. That didn't work. Nope.
There we go.
I tied the twine to the uneven table and took up a hiding spot behind a nearby wall. It was time to wake the dead. Hello? Hello? Why is it so dark in here?
Huh? Who's that?
I'm stuck. Help! Help!
Mallory, if that's you again.
Get me out of this thing!
Oh no, not again.
Not again?
Mister, are you okay? I'm so sorry. I was told... Mister? Oh, God darn it! Next time I see that girl, I'm gonna have a peewee-sized coffin all ready for her. A few hours locked in one of those should adjust her sense of humor.
Searching the dead man's body was not something I wanted to do. I picked up the handful of discarded coffin nails from the tin. I placed the coffin nails in the gree-gree. Hello, Edgar.
Yeah,
Who is it you're burying?
this is Theodore Grimes. He was the
Comptroller for Juniper Parish?
That's right. You know him?
We were supposed to have a meeting. Clearly he's going to miss it.
Sure is. Now he's the late Comptroller Grimes.
I best be running along.
Goodbye.
I didn't need to do any mechanical work. The jalopy door was locked.
Can I use this to
That didn't work.
cut the carrot? No.
The plaque read, Fort de l'Amour. No public access. For further information, please contact the lighthouse keeper. The gate was too well set into the thick stone walls to be dislodged with the screwjack.
What if I
The net
keep
was
the
so
fishing
worn that
net?
even if I had cut it down, I'd have no use for it. I didn't need to cut that.
Anything to report?
I'm keeping my eyes. Evelyn seemed busy, and I didn't have anything else to ask her.
Don't even think about it.
I'm getting frustrated here.
That didn't work.
Think I need a heavy fish somehow?
Hey,
Sorry.
I really want to know what's back there.
I thought better of swimming out to the wreck. Reeling in a sunken wreck with a small ball of parcel twine may have been overly ambitious. I glanced at the ledger on the podium. It was mostly empty. The words I could see were written in such an unreadable scrawl that looked like a centipede had dipped its legs in ink and skittered across the page. There was nothing in the fountain except a rim of moss and dirt that made it look like a stained toilet.
Okay, I have water.
I filled the bottle with water from the fountain.
Bottle of water.
I didn't need to pour water on that. The cat wasn't going to be interested in that. I didn't need to pour water on that. The cat wasn't going to be interested in that. That wasn't going to work. With the newly polished brooch gleaming,
Oh.
I angled it towards the lantern, catching the light and reflecting a red beam on the wall.
Okay.
I took a handful of the spilled gunpowder. I placed the gunpowder into the gree-gree. It was a crumbling piece of chalk. It was the gunpowder barrel the cat had knocked over, now spilling out its contents onto the cold stone floor.
I am gonna look at a hint. I'm getting a little bit frustrated with this. Right. I understand that much. But I need a photo of myself.
Anything to report?
I'm keeping... I didn't think she'd be interested in that. That didn't work. I didn't need to show her that. What do
Why
you
did I
think of this
think of that
magazine?
sooner?
Interesting. Interesting. This is the type of lowest common denominator dross I should be putting out. Who needs fact-checking when you can blame things on the boogeyman?
Evelyn seemed busy. Shouldn't I have some right to privacy when it comes to my telegrams?
You know, a lot of my customers say that.
You've received other complaints about it?
No, but I've read them grumbling about it in their telegrams.
That's one way. Did I just need to ask
Could you
her
take
this
my
entire
photograph
time?
for this captain's license?
What do you think this is, a boudoir studio? Would you like a feather boa and a pair of high heels for your session? Don't waste my time. I only take photographs of people who are newsworthy.
I didn't think she'd be interested in that.
Could I have that? I needed my photograph. Newspaper, editor had camera, newsworthy. The Island Record. A horseshoe's not gonna fit inside of a fish.
With the ripped seam as an opening, I placed the horseshoe inside the taxidermy fish. Now it was heavy.
You're joking, right?
Nope.
You can fit an entire ass horseshoe inside of a fish? Is that not gonna show through the seam? That it's like a horseshoe shaped?
Mac, does that say what I think it does? You been holding back on me. That breaks Scribb's record.
McAllen! How does it feel to have decimated the town record in your first few
Okay,
hours on the
it
island?
needed the
How did
fucking
you hear
horseshoe.
about this so fast?
What? Of course
It's my
it needed the
job to know
horseshoe.
about
What else
things
would go inside
fast.
of a fish?
Now,
A horseshoe.
I'm
a
asking
horseshoe.
you questions
Horseshoes
here. Where'd you get
inside
the
a
fish, McAllen?
Well, it was
That's
a
it.
mighty battle on the southern coast. Its fins strong as a motor, its mouth as fierce as a tiger's. I paused dramatically to allow my fishing prowess to wash over them.
What rod did you use?
Wooden one?
I mean, what make?
You know, I didn't use a rod.
You caught the fish without a rod?
It was more one-on-one. Mono, fisho,
You wrestled a fish?
and I won.
Well, as much as it pains me to say it, you're the cover story in the next edition of the Juniper Parish Gazette. And
It needed
this
a
is why I'm
fucking
not getting a
horseshoe.
Pulitzer.
Horseshoes go inside a fish. I never would have thought.
I've got to hand it to you, Mac. That fish is a whopper. I don't know how you got it, but as long as it keeps Squid quiet at the porch party tomorrow, I ain't complaining.
I'd had enough of carrying these suspiciously heavy fish around. I decided to leave it there.
Murphy! Have you seen the cover? I think we caught your personality perfectly in that photograph. Naive, simple, unsophisticated. Makes it all the more surprising that you actually accomplished something.
I wonder if I should have it framed.
That'll cost you. Hey, those cost money, you know.
But it has my photograph on it.
The Do Not Serve board down at Spinelli's bar has my photograph on it, but that doesn't mean I can just pick it up and walk out with it, does it?
I'd like to buy a newspaper.
Finally, I get something out of you loitering in here. That'll be 1 cent, please.
That's all the money that I had.
I picked up the newspaper. The fewer people that saw it, the better. Carefully, I cut my photograph out of the newspaper.
And now we go to the molasses over here. I still can't believe a horseshoe goes inside of a fish.
I touched the back of the photograph to the molasses. Thanks to the stickiness of the molasses, the photograph adhered nicely to the captain's license.
Sir, let me in. I
My
need your
credentials.
chalk.
You're telling me you are a captain?
I trust it's all in order?
I thought you said your name was Murphy McAllen.
That's right.
And why does this say Captain Knott?
It's a pseudonym for marketing purposes. You've got to stand out nowadays. A cool name's a good way to do that. You didn't think Captain Hook was called Hook before the hand incident, did you? What would the odds of that have been?
Look, Sonny, the bylaws of this club only allow the club manager to verify a captain's license. And Mr. Perkins is enjoying his backgammon soiree with Mrs. Perkins and the ladies this evening, with strict instructions not to be disturbed. So I'll accept this for tonight. But try this again tomorrow night and it'll be another story. Now, with that said, a warm and hearty welcome to the Captain's Club. We sincerely hope you make use of and enjoy our facilities, and do please let me know if I can be of any assistance at all. We don't open for another hour, but if you'd like, you can head up now to acquaint yourself.
I picked up the cube of billiard chalk from the edge of the table. The cabinet was locked. I placed the chalk into the gree-gree. I'd done it. All 7 ingredients for the summoning spell. Now I needed to head back to the Spirit Queen.
What are you YouTubing out here again.
I thought I'd find you out here, McAllen.
Evelyn, lovely to see you out in the bayou again.
This will be the last time, McAllen. I'm not your secretary. I don't know what you're up to out here, but I'll figure it out soon enough. But for now, let's hurry it up. These shoes are alligator skin, and I don't want the local fauna recognizing an old friend. Another telegram came through for you, marked urgent. Kip said you might be out here.
My boss again?
Got it in one.
McAllen, report back immediately. Received word Grimes is deceased. Lack of resources has made this a waste of time. And I've cut onto your little stunt with the Friday signatures. When you get back here, sorting mail is gonna be the least of your worries. Sid Sinclair, Sinclair Auditing Company.
I couldn't believe what I was hearing. On a night when I'd just seen a ghost, this telegram was almost more unbelievable. There was more to the Belmore story than I could have ever imagined. Now I was being pulled away to a job I didn't want to work, a life I didn't want to live. Maybe it was time to do something a little foolish. Do I still have that prepaid reply?
Sure do. What do you want it to say?
I quit. Say it. Say it.
Tell him I quit.
Yes.
Couldn't believe what I'd done. I'd quit my job and opened the first chapter in my own adventure. But without a job, I didn't have a salary. Without a salary, I wouldn't have a place to live. And it suddenly became more important than ever that I find that treasure. For me this time.
Murphy, have you found all 7 ingredients?
I have.
Wonderful! Now it is time for the final step. Out of the darkness, the sadness, the fear, I command you, my servant, now to reveal.
I have returned, Master. What is your desire?
The ingredients have been gathered.
Why is the music so
Spell
fucking
is
loud?
ready. The focus.
The focus of the spell is whatever you are casting it upon. Belmore Manor is where the ghosts reside. An image of Belmore Manor is what you must use to direct the spell.
Murphy, do you have an image of Belmore Manor we can use?
First, gonna do that. Second,
Yes, Murphy, that will work. Place it inside the Gree as the final ingredient.
I folded the magazine cover and placed it inside the Gree.
The spell is ready. Finally, the ghosts will be free again. Open the Gree, Murphy, and that will cast the spell.
With some trepidation, I took the Gree from my pocket and with a deep breath, opened it.
At last, I am free.
Servant, what's happening?
I was never your servant.
I am your master. You shall do my bidding, I command you.
Foolish mortal. You have served your purpose. No longer do I need to manifest as an ephemeral specter. Now my true spirit form is freed.
Loa, do as I say.
You are of no more use to me.
oh.
I wasn't sure what I'd just seen, but the voodoo fire raging all around me was all too real. I needed to get out, and fast. I wasn't going to be able to put the flames out with my bare hands.
I made an exit for myself. I want to go that way. I don't want to go into the pool. No.
As I opened my eyes, I realized I had no idea where I was. Hello? Hello? This wasn't good. I checked my hands and still seemed to be flesh and blood. What's happening? Where am I?
A musical number?
Welcome back to Belmore Manor, Murphy McCallum. We didn't expect to see you again so soon.
What's going on? Am I dead?
Don't be so overdramatic, Murphy. You're still very much alive. But you're the only person in the house that is. I'm afraid your actions have caused a good bit of trouble for us inhabitants of the house.
What's happened?
Let's see if you can figure it out. We're about to play a song, and Murphy McCallan, this one is for you.
Oh, God.
All right, all you Belmore Manor ghosts and ghouls, let's take it to a place where voodoo rules. Of spirits, but we know of one with evil intentions and now no preventions to all that evil scheme. You're now implicated in this complicated supernatural dream. You cast the spell, now the deed is done. Evil's free, the plan has just begun. Without your detection, we'll have no protection from the Machiavellian game. You set them loose, so you have to deduce who is ill and who is to blame. And self to test it, we'll ask you questions 3. Draw on clues to solve the mystery. The lover, the poor, the devil of God. Questions surrounded in doubt. The officer bride, the sailor or guide, Murphy. Can you figure it out? Can you figure it out? The broken heart stolen by another. Tell us now who is the lover.
Oh, God, I have to answer this now? Oh, God. A broken heart.
I think the bride was the lover.
A girl in love and a dream to wed, but does she know what cannot be said? Are the people around her just there to confound her? A love that must end with them dead. Sunset life, no chance for dawn. Tell us now who is the dawn.
I think the sailor was the pawn.
I might have skipped this.
A wicked deal, a cry to woo, a heart to steal, a sinister threat. If we ever should get found out that his love isn't real, wicked spirited, evil rebel, tell us now who is the devil.
the officer was the devil.
God, was I wrong?
The Belmore fortune, his work has grown. He wants that work all to be his own. If the brain was away, then the fortune will stay. Choose the riches to be his alone. Murphy tried, but it wasn't right. The real story might give you a fright. You gave your best guess, but it's not a success in these paranormal days. You sing a song, try to see where you're wrong. Try again, while your hopes still remain. Broken heart stolen by another. Tell us now who is the lover.
A broken heart stolen by another.
I think the officer was the lover.
A man of wealth, but the thing that he needs, he has a heart like any human bleeds. Is his wealth only known by the dollars he's grown? His heart overlooked for his deeds. Sunset life, no chance for dawn. Tell us now who is the one.
I think the bride was the pawn.
I have no idea.
A girl who must put all her own needs last, told who to marry, she's not even asked. When what can be bought is all that is sought, then the value of the heart has long passed. Wicked spirited, evil rebel, tell us now who is the devil.
I think the sailor was the devil.
A voodoo spell to replace romance. A voodoo's folly gives one final chance. When his curse is unspun, then more evil is done. The devil is a one for a dance. Murphy tried, but it wasn't right. The real story might give you a fright. You gave your best guess, but it's not a success in these paranormal days. You sing a song, try to see where you're wrong. Try again, while your hopes still remain. Broken heart stolen by another. Tell us now who is the lover.
I think the sailor was the lover.
I have no idea. I'll repeat this line.
Someone in love and their love is true. Is it return? What is there to do? They're caught in the middle of baffling riddles. Is love what can carry them through? Sunset life, no chance for dawn. Tell us now who is the
I think the pawn might be the bride because she doesn't have a choice.
I think the bride was the pawn.
A bride in love, but in some evil curse, immersed in voodoo and things perverse. She cannot protest, and her mind's now possessed of things that'll only get worse. Wicked spirited, evil rebel, tell us now who is the devil.
I think the officer was the devil.
A phantom figure who's now in control. Black magic powers got things he stole. There may be a setback, but he's gonna get back, and we're worried that goes that it's go.
Did I get it?
like you do. To fix it, we'll take some strange things. To test it, we ask you question 3. You do clues, hands off the mystery. The officer bright and the sailor all died. Questions surrounded in doubt. Not love with the pawn, the devil are gone. Murphy, you figured it out. And that's too much. The foolish boss find treasures trapped in hidden vaults. You may think you are done, but it's all just begun. It's time for the ghostly debut. So say trick or treat, 'cause there's a goal to defeat. And Murphy, we hope that you do. Or guess what? You have to die too.
Yeah, that's definitely something. Gotta love the ghost.
Have to die too.
I was back in Belmore Manor, and although it was better than being dead, I didn't know what was awaiting me.
Alright, I'm gonna save this. Interesting. And with that, I am gonna hop off. I am not feeling the greatest today. I'll probably be back on later playing RV there yet with a couple friends. But now that I know that bitch has the fucking manor key in her hand. But now that I know that we're at least on part 2, I can rest easy. Get it? The pun for the, you know, for the dead. Anyway, let me see if there's any friends online.